rainbow coming out of my head. Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Skein Sagas. My name's Shelley, this is Minnie, and you can find us on Ravelry and Instagram and Etsy as Skein Sagas. I have to apologise for the different outfits, scenes, and you'll see later. I have to apologise for the chopped up nature of this podcast, and that is because I had filmed this whole episode already and I had it edited, and somehow instead of uploading it I accidentally deleted a whole heap of images. So I thought I had only lost a few pictures, but I've actually lost a whole section of filming. So I've had to do this again. So I do apologise. As you can probably hear later on, my voice and my outfit will change. So as Anna of the Dunkelgroom podcast would say, this is Shelley from the future talking to you now, and there'll be Shelley from the past as well. Miss Minnie is here. She's had a bath, so she's actually cleaner than... I don't think she's in the later footage. I think we lost the bit where I filmed with her earlier. So she's had a bath, and she actually smells quite decent at the moment. She's very soft and fluffy, and in fact she's a bit of unwilling to be filmed. There she is. I thought you'd like to see her fuzzy tummy, and we also have a rainbow coming out of our head here, and that is because it is officially winter here now. We've had very weird weather. We had a lot of fog this morning, but it's a beautiful day now and the sun is shining, hence why I'm in a t-shirt. In winter, when it should be very cold, the temperature will drop as the day goes on. It's just starting to go down a bit now, and by about an hour or two from now I will be wearing probably pyjamas and a dressing gown, and I'll be rugged up because it will be incredibly cold. I think we're due for about 4 degrees Celsius tonight. It does get colder than that in midwinter. We occasionally get below zero, but when you've had 17-18 degrees Celsius during the day and it goes down to that at night, it is quite a marked difference. So as I said, I did film this entire episode earlier. I have managed to salvage some bits, which include my sharing of my Fibershare parcel that I received from Lorian in Canada. But I managed to lose all my knitting, which in one way was probably not a bad thing, because I wasn't very coherent when I filmed it. I was about to get very sick, so I did mess a few things up. So I think the first thing I'd like to share with you is, and just excuse me while I look here. So as you may have noticed, my name has changed on Ravelry. I've reverted from an old childhood nickname of Mrs. Picklepop. I'm now Skein Sagas on everything. I decided to make it even across the board to make it easier for people to find me. So that's been done. I will talk about my knitting in a little while. I'll put a time marker for those who don't want to hear about other things. But I've had quite a lot happen recently, as I had tried to tell you in the last lot I filmed. One of the first things is I would like to offer you, there goes the dog, a sneak peek of some bags that are coming. Excuse me, I'm all sloppy all over the... I just got right royally snoofed. I got the... because I made her wait and have her moment on screen, but she's now giving me the dead eye, the evil eye over there, because I've got stuff all over the bed. So this, if you can see it all right, try and get the light, that's better, you can see the colours really well there. This is a little sneaky peek of what is coming soon. I have a couple of new lines of bags coming shortly. They will be available in Yarn Trader, which is my local yarn store here in Adelaide, and that is on St St Vincent Street in Port Adelaide. It's run by a very good friend of mine, Tanya, and it is the most amazing shop. My next podcast that I do will actually feature some footage from hopefully Worldwide Knit and Public Day, which is next weekend, and I'm going to have a little bit of a chat with my friend Tanya while I'm there as well. So this is Harris Tweed. It is genuine Harris Tweed, not fake Harris Tweed, and there will be some bags coming soon featuring Harris Tweed, so that's a little bit of a sneak. So apart from knitting, you may or may not know that my podcast is also about spinning, sewing, my dog, my life here in Australia, just my general observations on things. But I've recently added another talon, another quiver to my bow, is that right? Yeah, or another arrow to my quiver, I don't know. Anyway, I not so long ago decided to purchase an Ashford knitter's loom. Pardon me. Now they are a rigid head loom. I haven't got it in the room with me. I will try and put some photos up perhaps of it. It does have a weaving that I've just finished on it now, but I haven't cut it off yet or anything like that, so I'll try and insert some pictures so you can see what it's like. I got the 50 centimetre knitter's loom. As I said, it's rigid heddle. I have also just only a few days ago got the little kit that you can put on so that you can double weave. So I can do a 50 centimetre wide weaving, but I can also now double weave to a metre wide, which is fantastic because part of what I'm thinking of doing is using some of my weaving as fabric to make stuff out of. I haven't quite decided what yet, but I really like that idea of weaving not only pretty things and blankets and that, but to also use it as a fabric. And this is my very first piece of weaving that I did. And this was done with a hand spun. Don't know if you can see it in it at all. I'll try and hold it up. I don't know if the light's allowing it to catch. It's sort of shadowy. It's a hand spun yarn which was a combo spin. I'm a massive fan of Tracy, who is Schnuffeltier, or the Passionate Spinner. She introduced me to the idea of a combo spin where you take a variety of fibres, break them up into smaller amounts, and then you spin them randomly. So I did. And I used a lot of, when I first began spinning, I bought quite a few D-stash braids of fibre, and quite a few of them were very soft merino, but they'd been handled a bit, so they were a little bit felty, but they spun nicely. They spun beautifully once I fluffed them out, but they were a very sort of raspberry pink colour, which I love pink, but it wasn't really a fantastic pink, to be honest. So, and there was browns in here and all sorts. It was just odds and ends that I bought very quickly when I was first learning to spin, just to try out before I spent sort of more money on fibre that I wasn't sure about. And when I was spun up and plied, I wasn't entirely happy with the colour, so I overdyed it with food colouring, and I used a combination of blue, and I used Wilton's Violet. And if you're not aware, Wilton's Violet food colouring in the gel form is wonderful. You can make it break sometimes and you get different shades. So hence here there's some very blue bits and there's some more purple bits, and that's due to the way it was dyed and the food colouring used. And it's food colouring is fantastic if you're looking into just playing around with dyeing. Get the gel paste colourings, they are amazing. You simply soak your fibre in plain old white, a sploosh of white vinegar in your water. You soak it for a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes. I've been known to leave fibre in buckets for days because I forget it's there. But you get amazing colours. It is colour fast. It can be washed and the colour doesn't wash out any more than a standard powdered acid dye does. It's not light fast though, so if you were wearing, for example, this as a beanie or a shirt that you wore out in really bright sunlight for a long time, it would fade as curtains fade type of thing. But pretty much it's pretty good. It's pretty fantastic. So that's my weaving. I really enjoyed it. I took to it like a duck to water again. As with my spinning, I loved it. It's the great thing about the knitter's loom is that it folds up, so you can have your weaving on it. You can fold it up, and they do have bags available for it. I haven't got one yet. I'm going to make my own. But you can take it with you and just pop it out, and away you go. You can weave anywhere you like. So they're very transportable. I got the 50 centimetre rather than the smaller one purely because I thought that was the maximum size that I could handle. I know they come in 3 different sizes, and there is one larger at the 70 centimetres, which a friend has, but I thought that was just a bit too much for me, so I think the 50 centimetre is perfect. So I'm really in love with that. That's absolutely super. I'm chuffed to bits with that purchase. It wasn't cheap, but I think it's well worth it. Absolutely well worth it for that piece of equipment, and I'll get a lot of use out of it. So that was my spinning. Now on to, I think I'll do finished objects first, excuse me. The first finished object, which you'll see me wearing later on, excuse me, my hair is deplorable today. I don't know what's happened to it. The first finished object I have, is my sponcho, which is the, oh now, I think it's the Ninilchik, I think it's Ninilchiks, which is the Ninilchik Swancho by Caitlin Hunter. I'm going to try and hold it up for you. And I have been wearing this quite a bit already. It is knit in fibre spates. Could be scrumptious. I'm not sure. I forgot to get the tags out with me. That's something I had last time, and I don't know if I've still got them. It's a superwash yarn. It's a double knit, and I know one of the colours, this colour, that the main green, this one here, that's probably a better view of it. That's sea glass. I've used copper, I've used verdigris, and I think the blue in it, the turquoisey blue in it, might be Deep Lagoon. I'm not sure, Deep Aqua or Deep Lagoon. It was a very easy knit, well written pattern, super easy. I can understand why Caitlin Hunter is so popular at the moment. I love most of her designs. I don't usually like to knit and double knit. It's bordering on a true double knit. A true 6-ply is alright, but I think this one might almost be an 8-ply in weight. I don't know. It's beautifully soft. It's so lovely. It's just totally scrumptious. In fact, I'm cold, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to pop it on. I'm not going to stand up because I'm perched on the side of my bed, and I'm way off being able to stand up on my bed here, so I'm just going to do that. There you go, so you can see it. You'll see it in a little while anyway. It's just gives me a bit more continuity, I suppose, doesn't it? So there you go. That's my Ninilchik Swancho, which I wasn't 100% sure about at first, and that was me and the style. It wasn't the pattern. The pattern and the yarn are fantastic. I didn't know if it suited me at first, and it has kind of just said wear me, wear me, wear me, and so I have been wearing it an awful lot, and it's great just to throw on when I want something just, you know, snuggly, because it's kind of like being snuggled in a nice big warm blanket. I'm just going to move the books so Minnie doesn't fall off the bed. There you go, darling. So that's one finished object, and I will put the names of everything up on here so that you can all see it. I thoroughly enjoyed knitting it. It was great fun. Knitted up very quickly because I'm used to using sock weight or lace weight, so that was brilliant. My second finished object, which I finished after I filmed the last episode. When I filmed the last episode, this was drying on the era. It had been semi-blocked. So when I had to film again, I figured I might as well show this. This is the Winterfjell pattern, which is by Ellie, who is Skandia Knits. She does the Skandia podcast. I'm just going to hold that up so that you can see. I have added the corrugated ribbing, and I repeated that on the cuffs and the sorry about this, and poo, and the bottom. I decided to add some short rows in on the bottom to give it a sort of a rounder line, and I liked the corrugated ribbing. I had a load of little odds and ends of this purple Angora mix left, and I believe the blue is that same, it's a US dye, and I got two lots of 4 sort of mini shaded minis, and there I know that is angry. Back again, sorry for that. My son is on tour currently with a show called Celtic Illusions, and he's playing traditional Irish music and Irish dancing in it, and he just rang me from on the road, so that was what that was. So I was talking about my Winterfjell. Now, Winterfjell has had a name change. You may have known it under a different name, but it is now called Winterfjell. And as I said, that pattern is by Ellie from Skandia Knits. I will link that below. And the green in this was, I don't know what yarn it is. It was a single ply, and it is beautiful. Whatever it is, it's stunning. And the grey that I have used is Knit Picks Preciosa in the fingering weight, the 4 ply, in one of the grey colours, and I absolutely love this. I chose very muted colours. I basically chose my colour palette on what I had. I really knitted this just to use up yarn, basically, because I'm trying to use up a lot of my stash. Now that I have access to a local yarn store, I am trying very hard to use up and destash a lot of stuff that I've had lying around for a long time. And I've had some of these yarns for 2 or 3 years now, and I really want to get it used. I don't like to keep stuff hanging around forever and just not use it. I don't have the space to do that, so I wanted to use the yarns up. I have always been a lover of colour work, and I'm so thrilled that colour work is coming back into fashion again, that it is a popular knit and a popular thing to design again. There are some absolutely stunning designs coming out now on Ravelry and other places, and yeah, I just wanted to sort of dip my toes again. I know I did the Ninnle Chick, but yeah, this was after that, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I have an issue in that the bottom of this jumper sweater hugs my butt a bit too much. It's a little bit tight fitting down there. I'd hoped that would relax a fair bit in blocking, but it didn't. And originally I thought I would have to Originally I thought I would have to take it right back up to under the armpits and re-knit, and that's a lot of hours, a lot of time and effort. And I didn't really want to do the corrugated ribbing again because it's well worth it, but it's not an easy thing to do. It takes quite a bit of effort. And then I had a brainwave last week. I haven't done it yet, but I am going to, if you can see sort of a rough little line there, I've decided that I'm going to stick up the side there. It's a very sticky yarn, so I have no worries about. I've no problems with sticking whatsoever. It's not a biggie, really. It isn't. People are very scared to do it the first time, but once you've done it once, you're kind of like, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to stick up the sides a reasonable bit, I think up to about there maybe, so several inches up the sides. And I think I have enough of the purple colours left. I could use them, but I'm thinking I may just do a plain border. I'll see anyway. Even if I do an I-cord, actually, even if I do a coloured I-cord up and around the edges, but I think if I stick it on each side, it'll make it more like a tunic, and I think that will work, and that way I get to wear this jumper because it is scrumptiously soft. It is incredibly soft. It's beautiful, and on a really cold day, I think it will be fantastic. I really don't want to have to re-knit all that. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm normally very happy to frog, but in this case I'm not going to frog it because this grey was originally used on a Carol Sunday pattern called The Secret Life of Trees, and it was beautiful, but when I hand washed it the first time, the yarn shrunk a little bit, which I can't explain why it did. I washed it exactly the same as I wash all my pure wools, and for some reason the yarn just and the top was unwearable, so I had to rip that out, which was heartbreaking because if you've seen the Carol Sunday pattern, it is stunning, but it's all lacework leaves and sort of cabley looking things up it. It's beautifully designed. I may possibly knit it again. If I have the heart to do it, I might do it again, but that's what this yarn was. So I've already frogged it and had to rip something out once. I don't really want to have to do it again. So I think if I stick the sides, that will give me just enough play that it will be loose around my butt cheeks and I won't have to worry about it. And I'll get a sweater that I can wear. So that's finished objects. I have actually finished 2 hats, but I don't have them with me. They are in the shop. I will try and take photos to insert. Otherwise I'll just put a link to the pattern. One hat, I can't remember for the life of me what the pattern is called. I will find that out. I may put that in the next podcast because it is in Yarn Trader as a display piece. The other hat, again, the same thing. I'll put pictures and links to the patterns in the next episode. Was designed for my friend Tanya and I just egged each other on for a design competition, which I failed dismally at. She won. Her pattern got more downloads than mine. Mine was it's called Cloche Encounters of the Knit Kind, and I just did a simple like a beanie with a pom-pom set on the side, very 1920s inspired. That was for Mother's Day. So I will put links to that pattern in the next episode and show you what that looks like, and I might even wear it. It's very cute. It's very fitted, but it's very cute. So I'll have to show you those next time. Now on to works in progress. I have 1, 2, 3. I had started a pair of vanilla socks in a Regia yarn, which I am frogging because it's a Kaffir Facet colour, which I loved the colour. I bought the yarn off D-Stash, but it's very squeaky and I'm not at all liking it. So that is going to be frogged. I don't see the point in putting in the time making myself a pair of socks that may possibly be okay when they're washed, but I just, it's not worth it. I'd much rather use yarns that I like. Now these vanilla socks that I'm working on, the colour's not too bad. This is, can you see it? There, that's better. That's about right light. This is a yarn from Spotlight. I think it's Socks Noir. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is. Pardon me. Their sock yarn is incredibly hard wearing, like iron. It's not the best, but it's okay. And this is the last of their yarn that I will be using to make myself a pair of socks, because the next sort of value sock yarn that I use will come from Yarn Trader. She has West Yorkshire spinners there, and I'm keen to try out some of their sock yarns. And she also stocks fiddlesticks, which has some bamboo in it, and for Australia, socks with bamboo in it might be quite nice. They'll be better for when our weather's a tiny bit warmer, or even now, just to wear with your shoes. So as I said, this is the last Spotlight yarn that I'm going to use for my socks, and I got this from an op shop, a charity shop, a thrift store. So that's that. But these are vanilla socks. I nearly ripped these back because the first time I tried them on, and this bit may be in the rest of the podcast that I've got to add, so we'll see what happens. These were quite tight across not the instep, but the bit above your instep, whatever that's called, sort of across the heel up to the sort of the top of your foot there. I tried them on and they were quite tight, and I was a bit worried that they wouldn't fit, and I was like, well, normally they do soften quite a lot in the wash, and I like my socks to be pretty firm, to be honest. So I tried it on a second time about 2 weeks later. I hadn't touched them for weeks, and they were perfectly fine. So I think they're going to be okay. Because I was so far up already, I do toe up 2 at a time magic loop for my majority of my socks. I don't think I've knitted a pair any differently ever. I have some patterns that I might have to try the alternative methods with, but this is my favourite for vanilla socks because I get them both done at the same time, and it's Judy's Magic Cast On for the toe is just super easy, and I do a standard heel flap and gusset, and I do if you can see that, like a slip stitch on the bottom of the foot and across the back of the heel, and that makes them nice and hard wearing and nice there. But I'm just not far off. I don't like really long socks, so I'm not far off being ready to start the ribbing on these, and I'll either do a 2x2 or a 3x1, something along those lines anyway, a fairly soft ribbing, because I've got gigantic calves from nursing all those years. It's just given me massive calves, and they've never gone away, so I don't like really long socks because they just pull too much. So I will finish these soon, I hope, because I want to get these done. I want to get them off the needles. They are boring me now. I've been on them for too long, so I need to get them finished. And I have some beautiful wool miser and some koigu that I want to make socks out of that you'll see later on that I got in my fibre share parcel, so I am desperate to get them on the needles and try that out. So that's one project. My other project that I have on my needles is this one. It's in my alpaca bag, llama bag that I made for myself. And have I lost? And I've just realised that a whole heap of stitches have fallen out, so I'm not very happy. So I'll show you as well as I can, and I'll have to pick these up afterwards because this is just a mess. This was because this was put away in a hurry. Now these are on, this one is on, can you see, this is on my Lique needles. These are fixed, I don't have any liquor in the oh, what do you call them? Interchangeables. I don't have liquor interchangeables because they come from the same factory as the Knit Pro ones do. And the fixed are lovely. I really like the fixed. I like the slickness of the wood. I don't like sticky needles at all. And their join is very good. But I have heard a few stories about the interchangeables because the joins are the same as the Knit Pros, and the Knit Pros are notorious for coming apart and having major issues. So I don't think I'll be getting a set of them. But this is a little, I'll try and hold it like this. This is a little sample for the shop. This is going to be a little dress. Oh, poo. This is the sort of day I'm having. So it's going to be a little dress. I don't know if you can see. It's knit in West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep. Sorry, I'm very shaky today. I'll put links on the bottom what it is. That's knitted in the variegated and then the lovely lilac colour. I will be doing a band of garter in the purple at the bottom of the skirt when I finished that, and I thought, oh, that's better, I can hold it without shaking everywhere. And I think I'll be putting a little flower, this is the back, but I think I'll be putting a little flower there on the front and just crochet a little pretty blossom with a button or something on it there. So that's a sample for the shop. I just keep putting it away because I'm not really into baby knitting. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but it's very simple. I don't like garter stitch. I avoid it where possible. But we needed some samples for the shop knitted up in the Bo Peep. Now Bo Peep is a brilliant baby yarn. It is 55% Falkland, which I believe is a type of merino, so Falkland merino, and 45% nylon. So it has all the scrumminess of wool, but at the same time it's still machine washable and it's very durable for baby knitting, and it comes in beautiful colours. The lilac that I'm using, there's gorgeous green and grey and yellows. There's all sorts of lovely colours in that. So I hope to get that finished soon. It's one of those things where I've been procrastinating, drinking cups of coffee and doing other things when I should be working on this. And the last thing that I'm working on at the moment, which has been on a little bit of a hiatus, been spinning a lot again lately, and my knitting is kind of on hold for a while, but yeah, I'll get there. I'll get my mojo back again. It's only been a little while. So this is in my bag that I made specially for myself. I got the fabric from a shop up in Cairns when I was up in Queensland for a high school reunion recently, a couple of years ago now. It's not recent, is it? And I'm hoping no stitches have fallen off here because I've got stoppers on it. This is my current work in progress, which is very leery. It is going to be, if you can see it, a top-down sweater that is kind of faded, but because of the colours I'm using, I think I'm going to get lines, and that doesn't really bother me. I kind of would prefer it to fade in. I had sort of quite a few battles about how well it was fading in, but then I decided that the colours I'm using are so bright that I'm going to get some lines, and I just have to live with it. And it's super, super soft. This is all knitted in singles. The top one here is hedgehog singles. I can't tell you the name of the colour because I bought it in D-stash from my friend and she has lost the label a long time ago. So I have no idea which one it is, but it's got a fluorescent yellowy green, yeah, fluorescent yellow, spots of fluoro orange and sort of a charcoaly colour in it. The second yarn that I'm using is, now this is where it's going to get really messy because I've just chucked all this in here, is this yarn, which, can you see? That is a Renanoli yarn. The next one will also, excuse the state of my, well, that's also a Renanoli singles. These are all singles. The next one after that, forget to it, that's another Renanoli. This one is called Sweet and Sour. It's fantastic with the bright pink. And then the last one, if I get to it, is I think Apple Tonic, and again that is a Renanoli as well. A single. They're all singles. So I have some extra colours if I need them, but I think I'm going to have plenty. So I'm just got to that point. I decided to, I'm just working this as I go. I'm not working from a pattern. I decided I wanted a tunic style overlap there. I don't know if you can see that. So I have cast on some extra stitches and then knit them in together, so I actually have a little section there on each side that is the sort of knitted section. Oh, I don't know the word for it. I don't know if that's the cast on edge that I did, but it means that with that on each side I can pick up and knit the sort of collar edge much more easily. I can pick the stitches up more easily. So that's that. I am working on that on and off. I needed to take a break from it all for a bit because I think I was knitting so hard and fast on everything that I was starting to get a lot of pain in my hands. I do get a bit anyway, but it was getting a bit overboard, so I decided to just to take it easy for a little bit. So I have been knitting, but not great amounts, and I've kind of picked up my vanilla socks again just to have something very simple and very light on my hands. So that's that. So that's everything I've been working on. I'm going to add in my fibre share element here. What else? Have I missed anything? I think the only other thing that I was going to talk about, if anyone is interested at all, is I know sometimes people like to know what you've been reading and watching. I watch a fair bit of telly, to be honest. I like to sit and knit or spin or weave and watch various things. I've been really enjoying The Handmaid's Tale. I read the book many years ago, discovered Margaret Atwood by accident, and I've read most of her books now. And so I am really thoroughly enjoying The Handmaid's Tale. It's very scary, but it's well worth watching. I have just finished reading this one, which I borrowed from the library. It's called The Eye of the Reindeer. It's by Eva Weaver, and that is about a Finnish girl who gets sent to, I don't know if it's during the First World War or around that time, roughly, I think. She gets sent to an asylum, basically, by her father, who is quite an abusive person. And it's sort of her story, and it's also about how she's very connected to the Sami people. I hope I've said that right. And she has this sort of urge to reconnect or to find a connection with the north of Finland, and it's a very good book. It's quite shocking as to the things that happen in the asylums, and that is based on true facts, but the other side of the story is purely fiction. It's a very good book, well worth checking out. Now, she has written another book which I'm keen to read now because I really enjoyed this. The other one that Eva Weaver wrote is called The Puppet Boy of Warsaw. So that's one that I think I'll check out next, potentially. I'll see if the library have got it. And now a knitting book, which I cannot recommend enough. I borrowed this from my local library. It's quite an expensive book to buy. I think I'm going to have to get a copy though, because it is right up my street. And that is the Dutch Gansey book, which is by Stella Ruhe. Now, this book was originally printed, I think, in Dutch, and then had to be reprinted because it was so popular in English. Now I'm trying to find it. It's an extremely good book. It basically covers styles from 40 villages, and what it sets out to sort of do is to, sorry if that's shaking, she sort of tells you the history of where the Ganseys came from and how I think it's the kipper or herring fishermen from Holland who were going over to Scotland sort of picked up this outerwear, and how the two sort of intermingled in their styles basically. And it's cracking. It's got a really good history section, and then she gives you the most amazing patterns. It's just packed full of photos, historical photos, sort of showing you styles and things. And then you go to the knitting pretty early on, and she talks about all the different wool types, techniques, what various motifs and patterns mean. She gives you a basic sizing guide, a guide to the charts. If you haven't knitted a Gansey before, I would probably recommend that if you haven't knitted a Gansey before, I would recommend you use one of the books that is very laid out towards more a beginner. A beginner could knit these, but I think you might find some of the instructions, not Stella's instructions, but it's the fact that the book kind of almost presumes that you have a working knowledge of how Ganseys are constructed first. So I wouldn't say it's a beginner's book, but if you've done one and done the sort of underarm gussets and things like that, then you shouldn't have any problems at all. But she sort of gives you, I'm trying to find a page that has, it's charted, and she'll give you kind of, if I can hold my hand over it, like a picture of the finished garment, and then the instructions. They are kind of sized particularly, so if you wanted to do it in a different size to what the pattern says, you have to have the ability to translate that up or down as required, which is not particularly difficult, because the majority of these Ganseys has very set pattern repeats, so it's easily done. But it is, where are my teeth today? I'm really shit at talking today. I don't know why. I've had a very sore throat, as you might have told, so that's probably affecting me, and I probably need food. It would help. Apart from twisties, I've been living on twisties for about 2 days, which is not good. So it's a fantastic book. I can really highly recommend it. It's got tons of patterns in it. It is well worth buying if you're into Gansey knitting, which I am, but at the moment I'm kind of delaying buying my own copy, but I really should, because the more I see this book, the more I like it. I love Gansey knitting. It's really great fun. If you've never tried one, they are brilliant. They are just such amazing things to knit. They really are. So that's it. I shall try and cobble this together now in some fashion, and hope that everything is okay, and that I can somehow find a segue from the future me to the past me. Yeah, I've already said goodbye, which you'll see later. I'll probably edit this bit out anyway, but yeah, that's it for this section. What I do have to show you last of all, I think, is my fibre share parcel arrived from Canada. It was sent by surface, so it took a long time, but boy, was it worth the wait. Oh my goodness. So, as I said, I haven't bought any of these things. I received them in a fibre share parcel. Hello. Oh, another thing I got myself for my birthday was this, which is, if you can see, focus, yes, good. That was another thing I treated myself to for my birthday, and because my birthday is on Earth Day, I bought myself a limited edition, so they say. I don't know how limited it is. It's a bracelet from a place called Four Oceans, so it looks like 40, but it's 4, the number 4, and then Ocean, O-C-E-A-N, and they're a company that clear trash from the world's oceans, and as far as I know, the bracelet is made from recycled trash that they clear, so recycled plastics and glass for the beads. So for every bracelet you purchase, they clear a pound of rubbish from the world's oceans. So that was my Earth Day as my birthday treat to myself. So I was talking about my parcel, which came from the lovely Lorien. Her name is spelled L-O-R-I-E-N, so I apologise, Lorien, if you're watching this and I mispronounce your name or make a hash of it. Terribly sorry, but your parcel was gorgeous. Oh, I love fibre share. I really do. Fibre share and wool swap are two of my favourites. It's just amazing how another person can get you so well, because she sent me things that I don't know how she knew that I would adore these things as much as I do. So I'm going to start with the foodie items, which I have managed to not eat. She sent me some lovely tea, which is an Earl Grey tea, and it comes in this like little gift packet, little message on the back. And Lorien, you made an excellent choice, because I love Earl Grey tea in its many forms. So I have some tea, which is really nice. She sent me some maple candies. I am a huge maple freak. Anything maple, and maple candy is just, it's lovely. So they're going to go my secret little bedside stash for me to munch on. Pardon me. She also sent me some hummingbird chocolate, which is, they are a Canadian company, and they are industrious, not industrial, which I like. And it's made in small batches, vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, ethical trade, made in Canada, and it is made from single origin beans, which come from the single origin Dominican Republic cacao. So it's Golden Bean 2016 Academy of Chocolate. Their chocolates have won awards all over the world. So I have this lovely little bar of the most delicious dark chocolate that I am really looking forward to trying. And I may even share a tiny portion of that with the other chocolate fan in my house, because we both like really dark chocolate. What else did she send me? She sent me this gorgeous little pouch. I'll hold it upside down so you can see the crystal on the side, which is an amethyst, one of my favourite stones. And that's a little notions pouch, which I've yet to put some bits and pieces into. And inside were, there's a little sachet of soak, which I've not tried. So my next favourite project, I'll try that on. A peel and stick patch with a little cactus, which is very cute. I don't know what I'm going to use that on yet, but I will find something. Some amazing magnetic page markers, which are perfect for my planner. They will go with my planner so well. I have it here. Oh, just shut it. This is my Kiki K planner in the rose gold leather, and look, how perfect is that? So I have been neglecting my planner of late, and I have so much that I have to put in there, and I'm going to sit and have a big cut and paste and stick session. I'm just going to have to sit down and put a whole heap of dates in there because I have a lot coming up. So they were in there, and I adore them. And the funny thing is that Lorian sent me these things with the crystals and the sort of gemstone geological stuff, and I spent quite a bit of my childhood on the gem fields looking for things like amethyst, garnet, digging them up, tramping all over, and so this was extra special, and she had no way of knowing that, but yeah, so that's amazing. And then this gorgeous little vinyl decal, which is a heart with a paw print in it, and I'm going to pop that on the back of my new tablet that I treated myself to, because I've had no technology. Not that I've had no technology, I've had a phone, and that's been it. My laptop was out of order for about 2 years now, and I was given a temporary tablet to use from my son, and that is ancient and falling apart and doesn't like to charge, doesn't like to work. So I bit the bullet and I invested in a new tablet, which is now what I do everything on. So, and that's what I'm recording this on now. So that little sticker is going to go on that. And now to the yarny goodness. She sent me some little, I'm trying to find it here, are they in here? Right, she sent me some snips, which again, I don't know how she knew, but I was desperate for a new pair of snips, and they will be perfect for my sewing because I can snip all my threads very close with that. That's something that I really was struggling with. Sorry. Oh, I'm making a hash of it this time. And she also sent me some, where did I put them? I don't know where I put them. Did I put them in there? No. Yeah. She sent me some lovely little stitch markers, which I can't find. They're a simple ring with a bead on them. I think they're in this bag here. But I've about 5 cakes of yarn in there. And no, I can't find them. I'm just going to make a big mess in there, or messier than it is. So anyway, she sent me some lovely little stitch markers, which are going to be used very soon. And I'm obsessed with Moose and Reindeer, and she and her mum made me this most gorgeous bag, which is Moose under a starry sky, and it is just divine. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's perfect. Thank you so much, Lorian. Now, the yarn is, she sent me some Manos del Uruguay, and that is Allegria? No, it's not Allegria, it hasn't got 12s. And that is in a colour called Peacock Plume, which is beautiful. I think that'll either be used in a shawl or socks. I don't know. I have some beautiful yarns in these colours, so it might go into a shawl yet. And a stunning skein of Wool Miser, which is beautiful. I've got a couple of skeins now I haven't used yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And this one is Admiral into Vulcan. So I don't know what Vulcan means, but it's a beautiful mix of blues and goes really lovely with that. But I think this one, because Wool Miser is such a fantastic sock yarn, I still don't know. Do I put it into socks, or do I put it into something that I may even do? I may combine a few and do a sweater of some description. Who knows? Oh, I forgot I got the most gorgeous little sheep key ring with a black sheep and a white sheep, which is fantastic. And don't know what I'm going to put that on yet, but I will use it on something. And I've really trashed that one. It fell apart, I'm afraid. Two lovely little skeins of koigu, which I've always wanted and couldn't afford. And they're 100% merino, and it's the KPPM, which I can't remember the whole thing, but it's something about Painter's Palette. Is it koigu, Painter's Palette, pure merino? That might be right. But the colours are gorgeous. And I think these might well be socks. I know it's pure merino, but I don't wear my knitted socks out a lot, so I think a pair for wearing at home might be nice, because I don't know what else I would do with this because of the colour changes. It might be too variegated for a lot of the things I knit, so it might make nice socks, but I'll see. And the final piece, which was absolutely stunning and in my colours, I've got some hand spun and some fibre that is in similar colours. Now this is from Log House Cottage, and it's an untreated BFL fingering weight, and apparently Log House Cottage, Lorian, this is a dyer who is local to her, and she had this dyed specially for me, and oh, the colours, it's just stunning. It's like an Adelaide sunset. So I've got a few ideas, because I've got some ideas in my head based on our sunsets, which are very beautiful pink and orange colours. I mean, I've put some photos up previously, so you've probably seen what some of them are like. This is just beautiful, and I really have to think about what I'm going to do with this, but it will be something special, and it may well go in with some hand spun and some other yarn that I've got in these colours. So that was my fibre share, which was absolutely beautiful. It's really lovely to get some fibres that are different to what I can get locally, or that I could get locally but will cost a lot. Wool miser is so expensive over here to get. So that's my little haul, and although it took 2 and a bit months to get to me, it was well worth the wait, and it was packed with such love. I don't know if I have. No, I didn't put it in with me. It was the most gorgeous. The parcel itself was beautifully presented. Everything just had the loveliest tags on it. That I think possibly, I don't know if L'Oreal did the lettering on that. The same lettering was written on my parcel and on a beautiful letter that I got that had the colours of this pinky orangey yellow yarn were on a sheet of paper that she wrote a letter on. They were like watercoloured on the back. I was going to show you, but I haven't got it here. I've got it stashed away somewhere, so I think she must have done the paper at the same time. Just beautiful. The calligraphy was lovely, and it really cheered me up when it arrived. It was delightful. So that is it for today. I will add some photos on at the end of this of we recently went to one of the wineries in our area. I live not far from the Barossa Valley and McLaren Vale, Clare Valley, all those areas that are world famous for wine producing. We went to a winery, which I can't remember the name of, but I'll pop it up because I will remember afterwards when I see the pictures. We went for a tasting platter and a wine tasting, and that was really lovely. We went with my sister and a friend of ours. 4 of us went with my mum for that, so I've got some photos that were taken there. That was really great fun, and probably just some photos of the garden and that. Our weather has gone suddenly very cold, and it is mid-May, so that's not surprising. Autumn is almost over, and we've had so little cold weather, so little rain. So when we got some rain, it was really, really welcome because it was incredibly dry here. So yeah, I can start to wear jumpers now. Not felt my knitting when I'm trying to do it because it's too hot. So yeah, it's getting to that time of year, getting to snuggly weather while you're not over in the northern hemisphere getting your daffodils and your crocus and getting your summer gear on. We're putting our socks and our jumpers on and snuggling up under our rugs. So I'd like to wish you all well. Thank you for watching. If you like my style, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. That helps bring my podcast up a little bit so more people can discover it, and perhaps subscribe, because again, that's really lovely. And when I hit enough subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. I just haven't got enough yet. And if you fancy coming on over to Ravelry and joining the group, please feel free. And if you want to contact me, if you've got any questions or suggestions, you can do that either through Instagram or the group on Ravelry, whichever way you fancy speaking to me. So thank you for watching. Bye. And now I can go eat. Hello. Are you watching me? Take care. I'll see you again. Bye.